back here with another movie review. Today we're going to be reviewing the movie The Long Walk. Now, I saw this movie a few days ago. It was kind of on my radar. I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't know if it was a horror movie, a drama, a thriller. It's kind of a little bit all mixed in one. My girlfriend's actually the one that she put me onto it, and I was like, "Hey, let's go see it." Well, just while we was at the movie theater, I didn't realize it was a theater. I was actually going to see The Conjuring, and I saw that the Long Walk was there, and ended up watching that instead. The movie had me mind blown. I loved the movie. It was great. You gave me a little, I had a little tears in my eyes. It was great. It's such a crazy good movie. Perfect blend of all kinds. There was some comedy. There was some horror. There's drama. Like it's a not too much comedy, but there was some in there. Um, so pretty much the movie starts off with the guy, the main protagonist named Ray. He gets a letter saying that, hey, you've been selected to, for the Long Walk. It was in a lottery. So the movie takes place in a dystopian future. I think it's like in the 70s. The way with the cars, with the way everything looks, it looks like it's in the 60s or 70s. But the world is poor, and so when Ray gets picked to go into the Long Walk, pretty much, this is the 19th one, and so it's for you to if you win, you get a large amount of money. That's the prize money. So as they're driving, Ray and his mother are driving, which so happen to be Judy Greer from Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills. She plays Ray's mother, and she's trying to convince Ray not to do it because she thinks, hey, it's not a good idea. She goes, I don't want to lose you. Anything can happen. And he say, Mom, I got this something I need to do. It's really, there's no other choice. This is what we need to do. So, against her wishes, he goes, and there's a group of kids. There's people from all walks of life. Ray just so happened to be the guy from that place, and he was the hometown kid. As soon as he gets there, he meets with a guy, Pete, which ended up becoming his best friend, and they have instant chemistry. Him and Ray and Pete, they introduce each other, and they right off the rip become friends. Then they meet up with a guy, Art, who was really a religious kind of person. The Asian guy, I forgot what his name is, Olsen, I believe. Uh, he's a character. He's funny, man. You really like his character. He's lovable. He's very adorable. Like you really like him. He's a likable kind of guy. Then you got this young kid. Don't exactly remember the young kid's name, but he had to have been 14 or 15, but he tells everybody that he's 18. Then you got a few guys that are just some assholes that are just like, oh, you're gonna die anyway. Who cares? And then you have one guy. I don't know if he had Tourette's, if he had schizophrenia, what something. He was not all there in the head, and you can tell. And you learn that later on in the movie where he's just going crazy. And then you got some guys, that are real in shape, and they're just real in shape, and they know they can do it. So then you got the antagonist, which is the Major, played by Mark Hamill. Which Mark Hamill, if you know anything about Mark Hamill, he's a great actor. He's the voice of Batman from the 90s. All in all, but you really don't like him in this movie. This movie makes you like, oh my god, you hate him in this movie. But nonetheless, they lay out the rules. So the rules are, you must stay at 3 miles an hour. You can't go under that. If you go under, you get a warning, and you have so many seconds. And if you can't get over, you get your second warning. Then if you can't get back up to there, you get your third warning. After 3 warnings, you get shot. You get shot and killed, and which is crazy. Because you're looking at this and you're hoping everybody makes it out of there. You really want everybody to win this money, and there's no finish line. The finish line is when it's the last man standing. If you take off running, if you try to take off running, they shoot you already. You have no warning at that. So to get rid of a warning, if you get one warning and you're able to get back up there after 1 hour, your warning goes away. So which is you redeem it. So um, they all get together, they all take off. Boom! Once they start walking, um, the young kid, he gets a really bad Charlie horse. He's like, he's really trying, and Ray, all the guys, everybody's real supportive of each other. Everybody trying to help each other because they're all looking out. They're making conversation. They're getting to know each other. Like it's really like the vibe is great. The only bad thing is they keep talking about when I win this money, when I do this, when I do that, not realizing. I mean, realizing as an audience, we're realizing like, man, only one of these guys can win. Like that is not, you're like, man, like you want to root for everybody, like you hope everybody wins. So the young kid's walking after so long, he actually gets a really bad Charlie horse, and Ray is trying to help him so bad. He's like kind of pushing him. He's like, come on, you can do it. Well, the young kid, his Charlie horse is just too bad, and he stops because he's trying to get a break. And sure enough, he's the first one, goner, boom, right in the head, and they show no mercy. And Pete and him are walking, and they're very sad. They're sad, but they know, it's part of it. This is actually the 19th annual one that they're doing. So as Pete and Ray are walking back, Pete says, "Man, and the sad thing is, it's a sad. I can't remember. I'm paraphrasing. The sad thing is that we're gonna have to get used to this." And Ray says, "That's the scary part." That was, man, that like just the whole conversation between them two, the dialogue was crazy. So as they're walking, Pete is like, "Well," and Pete is a very in shape guy. He has a scar on his face, but you see his muscle. He's built for this type of stuff, and it's just he's a great character. You love Pete, and Pete, he always sees the bright side of things. He tries not to look at negative. He always looking at the bright side. And so Pete's like, "Well, got to go to the restroom." Turns around and starts peeing backwards, and everybody's like, what's going on here? But that's part of it. You can't stop to use the restroom. We got to use the restroom. We got to keep walking. So the next guy that's killed, he actually has to use the restroom. Like, somebody comes up to him and says, "Hey, did y'all hear about so and so? He has to go number 2." And they look back, and the guy stops. They give him a couple warnings. He gets up, starts taking off again, but he has to go really bad, and he stops and goes to the restroom. And they hit his third warning, and boom, off he goes. And at this point, these guys are like, "Man, this is nuts. This is wild. Like, why did we sign up?" A lot of them are already thinking, "Why did I sign up for this?" So, and then as you're walking, you can see like all the towns that they're passing. Everything's poor. There's rundown, there's rundown cars on fire. Buildings are run down, torn apart, and it's sad. Like, just sad to see the world in this kind of state, And so they keep walking, like I said, and they're all good. One guy comes up, he's one of the contestants. He's like, hey, he tries to get everybody's background. He wants to write a book. He's like, "Oh, when I win this thing, I'm gonna write a book." And other guys are like, yeah, go, whatever, and don't want to give him no information. So yeah, man, they go in. Like I said, there's a lot of conversation. Pete and Ray really do get so close. They're like brothers. They're like, it's like a brotherhood. And Art also. So Art, Ray, Pete, and Olsen, they get really close, man, and it's a really good friendship. And then so they're going, and then like the hard part is a big hill's coming up, and this is where you see a lot of them start dropping like flies, because a lot of them, you have to stay at the 3 miles an hour, and it's a very steep hill. So they're going, and I think they lose like 40 people on that hill just going in. Well, the guy that was a reporter, he actually breaks his ankle. Well, this is the only part I think is unrealistic about it, is he breaks his ankle, and he is pretty much, his foot's like this, and he's walking like this is his ankle. And so the whole time he's walking, he should have died on that hill. Like, he should have been killed, but there's no way humanly possible that he was walking on that ankle. He was pretty much walking on his ankle. His foot was broken, but eventually, if the pain becomes too much, and he ends up going too, and you're just like, man, it's just crazy at this point. Everybody's tired, Ray's exhausted, but the only one is Pete. Hey, Pete can go for days. They're falling asleep. Some of them are falling asleep while they're walking, and they're just going. Man, I'm sorry, I'm just so mind blown. This movie was so good because some people, like, I guess your body has so much will sometimes that you will do whatever it takes to win, and that's how these people are. So, and then slowly each character, like, you have little side characters that are not big, but they have little parts in there. They start going crazy. Some of them are going crazy. One of them attacks one of the soldiers and shoots and kills them, but then they shoot and attack and kill him. One of them kills himself, like, just little by little. Like, one with the radio, he takes off just without his, taking off his clothes, and just, wants them to kill him. Some of them just wanted that at this point. And the guy that I was talking about that was crazy with the Tourette's or whatever, I think he says he starts picking on this one guy. I guess it's to believe that he's gay because he's kind of like flamboyant. I'm not saying not that there's anything wrong with being gay or nothing. Don't get me the wrong way, but I think he was picking on him because he was like, "Oh, you're a sissy boy," calling just calling him all kinds of names, and the kid kept swinging on him, and but he kept picking on him. He swung on him like 3 or 4 times. Well, one of them he fell down, scraped his face. I think he hurt his leg or something. He couldn't walk, and sure enough, you guessed it, that guy, he ended up going. But that was a sad moment because he didn't deserve that. He was just trying to get along, trying to get through everything like this, and you got this freaking asshole just picking on him, bullying him. So that for Alan, they started calling him a murderer. They started calling that guy a murderer because they felt like he got him killed, which is true. He definitely did. 100% got that guy killed. And so they're going, and that guy, he ends up, the guy that I don't know if it's schizophrenia, Tourette's, I couldn't tell you. He's there walking, and he's trying to make friends. He's trying to apologize to them. He's like, man, I really didn't want that to happen to him. I'm sorry. He goes, I've never been in a group. I've never been friends with anybody. And they're like, yeah, it's fine. You can be friends with us. For some reason, I don't think he can take it no more. He stops, turns around, and just starts stabbing himself in the neck. And it's like gross. And you're just like, oh man, like, whoa. Like, at this point, you're just like, okay, everybody's starting to get delirious. They're getting tired. Everybody's losing their shit. Man, so everybody's like, people are starting to die. Well, they're passed by the town. Ray, they end up so happen to pass by Ray's hometown. Like I said, he's the home state, guy. Like, you passed by earlier in the movie. Like, he actually even has a fan because he's from there. Sees his mom, and when he goes to try to take out to his mom, he tells his mom, I'm sorry. Like, he loses his shoes. It's crazy. Like, one of his soles, the bottom of his shoe breaks. He ends up, so for the last like 15-20 minutes, he ain't got no shoes. Or the movie, like, I guess he went about 100 miles without no shoes. But he saw his mom, and he was crying. He was about to just die right there. His mom told him, no, you need to keep going. You need to finish this out. Go and do it. And he was crying, like, you could tell in his face, like he was ready. But Pete was like, come on, we got to do this. Let's go. Let's keep going. And so Art, which is the religious guy, he was really here's the way he went out. He was just losing. His nose starts bleeding, and he just saying that he couldn't help the bleeds. Like, he needed to stop. He couldn't go no more, and he pretty much came to terms with it. Like, he was gonna die. He gave Ray a cross for his mom, or some kind of necklace. Said, "Hey, give this to my grandma." Or his mom, can't remember which one. Give it to her when whoever finishes, and they make a promise to him, and so he ends up just falling to his knees, and to his destiny. So you know what happened to him. Olsen, kind of a similar thing. He was out of it. Olsen was. They looked at him. He pretty much was just a zombie. He was walking. He couldn't go no more. Like, he was just walking, and he was walking. Pretty much couldn't. He wasn't functional. He pretty much just stopped. And Art, like, before Art passed away, Art was like trying to get him to go, and they picked up Art at the last minute, saying, "Look, let's get out of here. It's over." And that was when Olsen dies. It's probably probably one of the biggest, saddest moments. And it made me. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. As a man, I teared up a little bit. So you get really invested in these characters, and the characters sometimes when they go like. But you have to, like I said in the beginning, you have to brace yourself knowing this is gonna happen. And it was a little sad. I was a little sad. I will say that. So then they're down to the final three, and well, they're down to the final four, and they're pretty much saying, "Hey, it's every man for himself." Pete's like, "No, I can't." He was like, "That's not how this works." And Ray was like, "No, I want you to quit saving me. Please stop saving me." But then there's an Indian guy. He ends up goes crazy. He ends up dying. I think he's the one that grabs the soldier's he grabs the soldier's weapon and kills himself with it. So I mean, it was sad. But the last three are Pete, Ray, and I think it's Shep. Something starts with an S, something like that. And we're just saying Shep because I can't remember his name. And Shep is pretty much, I think he's sick and he's dying, and he knows it. And so he reveals to Pete and Ray and says, "Hey, I'm dying. I feel my lungs filling up with fluid already. My liver is going out. I only did this because the major so happens to be my dad, and I thought he would have noticed me, but he doesn't. And he just sees me as another contestant because he's a cold-hearted son of a bitch." And so he goes, "Y'all two go finish this thing out," and he ends up stopping. So when he stops, you know what happens. He hits he meets his demise at the end. So now it's just Ray and Pete. And when you get to the last two, there are spectators. That's all crazy this movie. There are spectators cheering them on, cheering one of them to die, one of them to finish. And they're not, now we got all these spectators. It's a crowd, like like the end of a race, like cross country, like, yeah, let's go, let's get it. So at the end of it, Pete goes, "Ray, I'm gonna take a knee." He takes the knee. He was like, "No," like, because Pete reveals to Ray that he's doing this because he's been walking all his life. He's been homeless. He's been in foster care. He was always fighting. Like, he didn't have nothing to live for, so he was gonna take a knee. Well, Ray reveals to Pete that he wants to kill the major because the major killed his father, and the only reason. And at the end of the race, whoever wins, you get a lump sum money and one wish. So Ray reveals to Pete that his wish is for a carbine, which is the M16A1s. He said he's going to get the carbine, and he's going to kill the major. And that's his whole reasoning for being it. And Pete says, "No, he don't need to do that. You need just take the money, get a different wish." So they get to the end, and Pete takes a knee, and he says, "Go be with your mother. Go take care of it." He goes, "I have no reason to live." He goes, "I ain't got nothing going on in my life. I don't need this money." And he tells Pete, like, "No, we're gonna finish this. We're gonna do this together. We're gonna go till one of us passes out." Which then Pete says agrees. And as Pete starts walking away, he's talking. Ray takes a knee and says, "Hey, you have much more to live for than I do. Tell my mom I'm sorry." And sure enough, you know what happens? They take out Ray. And at that point, you are bawling your eyes out. You're so sad. Everything is just like, what in the world? All that for nothing. And Pete is crying. And the major he's just a soulless, emotionless son of a bitch. Just gets up and says, "Congratulations, Pete. You're the winner." He goes, "Well, you get your money. What's your one wish?" As he's holding Ray, he gets up and asks for the carbine and shoots the major dead. And he said, "This is for Ray," and walks off into an alley, and the movie cuts off. And dude, when I say that was such a great movie, oh my god, I can't even do it. I'm like telling you, just going back thinking about it. It was such a good movie. Definitely, I will say this: the best movie I've seen this year. Best movie. I haven't seen him. I'm waiting for him to come out next week. I want to check that one out. But easily the best movie of the year so far to me, man. The characters were great. The story, the plot, everything, man. It gets you so sucked. This movie is one of those really like gets you sucked in. and you love it. Like you just can't help it. Like you just like you cry, you happy, you know it's a brotherhood. Like they build a bond and a brotherhood, which is a matter of days. They end up walking like 400 miles, all in all together. But the brotherhood, the friendship, everything of this, like this movie, it's you love it. Like it's great. It has you entertained. It has you stuck. There's not one moment of this movie where you're like, okay, this is boring. This is slow. And with the movie called The Long Walk, you would think there was a part where it would get boring because they're just walking, but no. The movie takes over, of course, 4 days, about 400 something miles, and it keeps you engaged the whole time, which to me is such great directing, great acting, just great all around performances by everybody. I give this movie a 9.5 out of 10. Like I said, the only part that I think the ankle part. I mean, that's just me being nitpick. That's just a little nitpick for me. But I mean, 9.5, 9.5 out of 10. Shit, 10 out of 10. Who cares? It doesn't even matter. 9.5, 10. It's a perfect movie. I wouldn't change nothing about this movie. I think it's perfect. It's great. Um, Anybody that's in theaters right now, you need to go check it. Don't wait. Go see it. It's good gore. There's good gore in it too. There's a little too much CGI blood, but it doesn't take away from the movie, the story, the plot, and everything. So, but all in all, guys, that's all I have for the movie, The Long Walk. Check it out. You don't want to miss this one, all right? And as for now, this is Mark, over and out.